So I would invite us, since yes, we came to the 2 hours, so I think we can go towards the ending or towards our debate, and then we determine how long we speak or not. So invite us. Is it okay? I think it's okay if now we do the honor to Nina that maybe the debate goes in English. If all of our guests are, I think we are all okay. So that I would invite us, if that's okay, to yes. I don't know if please someone just pulls. Otherwise, I will determine the team. Beno, I think you're really waiting to say something.
Perfect. Of course, I'm eager to say something. Thank you for the word, Nina. It was unbelievable. Perfect. Thank you very much. And uh, you know, are you sure you're Jewish? Because I'm a Christian, and we are sister and brother. So I'm very proud of it to say that, yes, this one humanity, it derives out of it. The Jews, the Christians, and of course the Muslims. We are all Abraham's children, aren't we? So, of course, if we are looking through the religion, of course, but we have the same goals as well as the Buddhists, as other religions as well, of course. All the same direction. It's one humanity, and it's perfect. The perfect description where we are what we want to achieve in our lifetime. It's to be bounded, to be a brotherhood and a sisterhood of humanity, and that's what I see. It's perfect, and thank you.
Thank you. I go get something. 1 second.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Anyone else? Natalia,
I bring the menorah. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, because it's Hanukkah. And this menorah was from my parents and their parents, and one of the very few things they brought from Germany, and this is my heritage, and yet that's not who I am. It's just part of me, yes? And I come together with you in all religions, for sure, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and enjoy yourself and celebrate this day.
Thank you. It's the light and bringing the light to the world.
Yeah, it's a festival of light. Yes, for sure. You were very lucky that your parents really brought you up in a universal humanity, and you were part of the School of Humanity in Switzerland, and they did after their survival, the Holocaust, and they decided it's really the education for the universal and the one human family that it is more important. So that's it. Natalia, jste si tukaj? Okay. I think she is listening. Nina, it was really great sharing from everyone. But let's make it okay. If someone wants to say something, but I will just throw one question. And this is, of course, we are in a special time, and it is a COVID, not COVID, semi-COVID, whatever we say it. What can we think in these special times, and that we don't get political, and that we don't get into too much medical, yes, no, whatever. But I think Natalia touched it so well. The opening question said, how much in these special times can we be us, or she said, are we really in these special times the best of our versions, or how much of the best versions are we, or how near? And it is really a question that could be really an open question. I would repeat the same one, almost the same one, but yes, in this now. What can you share? What is for us, how to be practical in these times? What do you think? What's important?
Okay, may I?
Of course, Mina.
Of course. So, huh, you probably all know and you probably read the book The Brave New World by Aldous Huxley from the 1932 or 33. He has written this book of it's kind of un-utopian book, and I don't want to end like this book. I don't want to end in a society that this book describes. So this is my point of view. I want a different society to evolve out of this, and especially out of the COVID situation and all of the troubles that we are experiencing right now and for the last decades already. And yeah, that's my point of view.
Slajana.
Markov.
Now you're talking.
Okay.
We were
yes, I have one question for Miss Dr. Nina Markov, if possible. Thank you for a great presentation. I would just like to ask if you were thinking or if you managed to synthesize the interconnection between youth and the elderly, the transmission of knowledge and the connection which must be rebuilt or regained again, because I think the situation till now, how would I say, managed to make a wider border between the elderly and between the youngster. So what can we do to make this connection, this bond stronger? What's your point of view, Miss Nina?
Just a second,
Yes.
So what I understand your question to be is, how do we bring the elder generation, myself, together with young people? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. To make the bond stronger.
Yeah. So my thinking and experience is that we bring young people together, but it is our role to hold a safe space and to create an experience so they can explore what is their meaning. And if they see we trust them to have good thinking and to really begin to develop new systems and support them, they will in turn come back to us and recognize we have something to offer. So we are the bridge between the old world and the new world. And instead of thinking they have to follow us, we have to support them. And with that, then they are appreciative. There are experiments that I know about where young people go into old age homes, you know, and it brings life together, you know. The older people are appreciative and the younger people learn about life. And if we can allow ourselves to be humble and to take, you know, embrace each other, then it will happen more and more. So like I look at the young people here, very appreciative, because I know it's a lot of words going over their head. But if we acknowledge them and support them, they in turn will be appreciative of us.
Great, thank you. So if we can say is the most important is that we rebuild the trust in different areas of society. That is the most important thing.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it, and thank you.
Thank you, Nina, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anyone else? Katerina, please.
Yeah, I wanted to answer the question of practicality. I think it's really hard. And welcome to my living room, by the way. I think it's really hard because we are so tired of this in this situation, and so very lonely, and I think the most important thing and the first step that we need to do is to practice self-love, to really be kinder to ourselves. Because if we don't do this, if we don't have that kindness towards self, and if we're not taking care of our own needs, it's impossible for us to extend that to other people. So self-compassion, I think, is the first practice that I would maybe go through, and then practice compassion towards others, because we cannot give what we do not have.
That's right. I agree with you fully, and I would say that it's really a time now to go inward. This is pushing us to learn about ourselves and to begin to explore that, and then to find peace within ourselves and then share that with others. Yes, absolutely.
Self-compassion, yes.
It's very hard to know what does love yourself mean. You know, I mean, what does that mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it has different meanings. Yes, we have to be cautious with this.
Yeah, that's why I prefer to talk about self-compassion, because it doesn't mean, it means being kind to yourself, the way we sometimes we can be kind to other people, but I think very often we find ourselves, especially when it's hard for us, we're not being kind to ourselves. We're not even admitting that we're hurting. And self-compassion just means staying present with the hurt that we're feeling, admitting that we're hurting, treating ourselves with kindness, and realizing that we're not the only person hurting, that we're not the first and not the last, that this is human. It's a part of human experience, so it can be connected. But if we don't go into self-compassion, what we do is we defend, because hurt people hurt people. So we defend ourselves, we stay guarded, and then other people suffer more because of us, because we haven't given ourselves the self-compassion we needed. So this is what I mean when I'm talking about self-compassion, self-love, treating ourselves with kindness. Not.
You think that
Yeah.
you have to accept yourself, you have to accept your faults, everything that is, yeah, of course. That's it. That's self-compassion.
Yes, and stay present with whatever is. Because if we don't, we try to deny it, we push it down, it leaks. And it leaks in unpleasant ways. And this is why what I said in the beginning happens, that we're not being our best selves at the moment, because we're not taking the time to acknowledge how we're actually feeling. And then it's very easy to just turn around and burst out on the person who's right next to you.
And as well, me as a Christian, I'm asking God to be compassionate to myself, to me, of course.
And if you realize the Buddhists, they say life is suffering, and how to go beyond that is non-attachment, which is a different way of saying compassion. You release the identification of the external so that you can stand in the truth of who you are, and then you can integrate with what is without expectations.
That's right. Perfect.
But I think it's really important to stay practical here. That means, like, we're moving from this to, being vertically connected and all of that. But practically, that means that when I'm feeling something, and it's not easy, like it's weird right now because my partner is listening right next to me, and he's the one experiencing all the all of my defenses all the time, because it's really hard. What it takes is that when we're feeling the everything, to stop and not to lash out, and that's very practical. That's very, like, what do I do when I feel the emotions rising inside me? Do I just act? do I breathe? Breathing is amazing. You should try it sometimes. It's awesome.
It's a good catalyst.
Yes.
There
And,
was a neurologist who had a brain injury, and she studied the process very carefully. And she found out that when you have an emotional experience, if you can wait 30 seconds and count to yourself, it releases its control on you. And it's a way of not allowing the emotion to take over, experiencing the feeling, which is different than emotion, because emotion is an action, yeah? To have the feeling and then explore that feeling and release it into the, forward, but without real emotion.
So not the famous 10 seconds, but the 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Okay, not the famous 10.
Okay.
It's too short.
Well, this is what her work did. Yeah, it was very interesting because it goes to the limbic part of the brain, I believe. Yeah.
That's right. Because the first reaction is my adrenaline,
Yeah.
It rises for the 10 seconds. And after 10 seconds, my reaction is even stronger. So 30 seconds.
After 10
Try
seconds.
it and see. You'll like it.
In 10 seconds, you just develop the strategy, how to express my emotion the most effectively.
not just how I express my emotion most best, but maybe in 10 seconds, you have exactly enough time to figure out how to destroy your enemy. Because this is where our brain goes. Like when we're not feeling well, this is where our brain goes. Who's right here is not the person I love and live with. It's my enemy, and he wants me, and he wants to harm me. So how do I defend myself best? And I think in those 10 seconds, very often we just go,
30 seconds, yeah. 30 seconds.
The 30 seconds. 30 seconds is so much.
See,
Wow.
the difference experiencing the mind is a way of protecting oneself, yeah, and finding one's individuality and feeling separate, etc. If you can take it into the heart experience, then you release the thoughts that go with it and allows you to integrate with what's happening in front of you. But I agree, we all must deal with our issues because those are the things that we experienced in this lifetime, yes? And so it's up to us to swim through those issues and allow ourselves to, live life more peaceably.
Look at one living emotion. Yes.
Yeah.
So the youngest in the round.
Look at that, smiling. I can share, and I would have to update about one person from Israel that was researching very much into knowing that we have to move very fast, yes, as a humanity, to rise the numbers of conscious people that are conscious and deciding differently, if I say that. And he said that they found up a technique which in very short time teaches a person, it can be a very young one, to start deciding from here from. He really showed it even physically because, like Katerina said, of course, we have the reptile brains and these brains and blah, blah, and all those decisions. I think it's the 4 steps. No, it's the different. It is the different set of these decisions. The problem comes and how you decide. If you decide from here behind, it's clear, kill or run. Those are the 2 options and so on. But when you start deciding from this frontal point, and it doesn't matter whatever, third eye, blah, blah, but very physical or physiological. And when you start deciding from this, your emotions, your words, your actions that you take are very different. And they really developed a very simple technique that 5-6-year-old find out the change. And once you learn it, you cannot forget it. And what were they developing is how to really learn, teach people fast. That it's not one by one, because then you know how much time it has to go, but how to very fastly give. It's without philosophy. It's just from which point in your brain or head are you deciding, or where your attention is when you're deciding, okay, what will I do? This person says this. What will I respond? How I will respond? Yes. It is interesting. So I will update. Reminded me about that. Okay. Anyone else? Something? Nina, I know you would like to see the baby more. Yeah.
We exploited everything already, didn't we?
Yeah.
New life.
There's another thing that's a really useful tool to get our frontal cortex, our prefrontal cortex back on track, and that's writing. So, which is, for many of us, is not the first thing we think of when we're midst emotion, but it has been proven scientifically very often with psychologists that journaling or just writing down a few simple notes of what I'm feeling, like uncensored, the worst things that come to mind, is already releases a lot of the emotion. So that it really helps. And then what we can do is we can start to look for patterns in what we have written down, because very often what comes up is the issues that we have. So very often we would go to the same stories over and over again, like usually around worthiness, around who we are, who we think we are, who are we for others, things like that. So we find, and then we can compare what our thoughts are to what are the facts, what actually happened. Because usually our emotional reactions are not to what has happened, but to what stories we have created around what's happened. So writing things down is a really practical thing to do.
Yeah, you're right. I think that all creative processes are the same, like making music, singing. I'm composing music, and I do have my own band, and this is my channel to do this. Of course, I don't write. My wife writes lyrics, and so we are combining each other's. This is our way of communication. Communicate that what you're talking about, or also, and it's the same with, I don't know, painting and so on. So, but the simplest way is that what you are saying, just to write a journal or anything else, to write a word, and it's almost done. Yeah.
Okay. So I think if we don't go, that we don't just talk, but thank you, Beno. I didn't mean because of you, but if we have some concrete question or idea or message, I think now is the moment that we say it, because otherwise I will very gratefully say thank you to all of you that we were here together. For all your presence and from all different sides of it, because it's thank you, Pater Karl Gerjan. It was such a great message. Aha, yes, and we will share in the end. I think he sent it by mistake, by WeTransfer, his Christmas wishes, but they're so nice and sweet by the fire outside. In WeTransfer, we got the wishes, and I think we can share that because I'm happy that we can share it. But for all your presence and all your hearts and dedications, and Ales and Slajana for your very concrete sharing of your giant endeavor. But it's nice to see a giant when you see all the pieces already there, that it's coming to life. So I hope to be part of it, and we will all be part of it in some way. And it will for sure be a big demonstration of what we can do, and of global heart and mind together. And thank you, Nina, for waking up, being there, light the candle in the evening. And yes, I'm here in Oświęcim in Poland, Oświęcim, Auschwitz, where we with Nina for more than 6 years developing the One Humanity Institute, which the idea is how to make, after visit of the most horrible expression of humanity, which is of course in the past, but we're dealing with that because elements of this are still happening around the world. So how to make something next to the most horrible expression of humanity, to do the best expression of humanity. So that's why I am also here. And that's why also all these ideas, big systemic ideas of the big heart and big global and so on and so on. And of course, there are steps towards it. And thank you for all of us, for all of you, to being part in your fields of action, because you're all doing something important for the global whole. If anyone wants to share something, otherwise we'll give the last word to Pater Karl Gerjan. Yes. Beno the preacher.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then for all the be present, I don't know if I think we were also okay. Beno, yes.
I'm just humble. That's everything that I can say. So thank you very much.
Thank you for being so honest and clear. Thank you, Katerina. Thank you, Aleš Slađana. Thank you, Pater Karl Gerjan. And thank you, Nina. So please, Alexandra, if you can share the last piece.
Dragi rojaki v Argentini, en prav lep pozdrav iz rodne Slovenije, konkretno iz Zgornje Savinjske doline, Luča Solčava, kjer sem kaplan. V tem pozno adventnem oziroma že kar božičnem času z enim preprostim sporočilom, ki nam ga prinaša sam praznik. In kaj je to sporočilo? To sporočilo je, da se v temo, da se v stisko, da se v zapuščenost, v osamljenost, v kakršnokoli tesnobnost sklanja On, ki je sveti, ki svetli, ki je Bog med nami, Jezus, ki se rojeva preprost, zato da bi ga mi, ki smo v srčiku svoje osebnosti, preprosti lahko sprejeli. Tja, kjer mora biti, kjer se mora roditi, kjer se mora prebuditi kot sveti, da bo svetljiv, da nas bo okrepil, da nam bo dal moči. Želim vam, da bi se v teh prazničnih dneh, v tej svetlobi dobro okrepili, osvetlili in vam želim, da bi potem postali božanski. V čem smo božanski? Bog se sklanja v čas in prostor, v stisko in tesnobo. In ko mi storimo isto, ko zaznaš nekoga v stiski, v tesnobi in se ne oddališ od njega, pač pa se skloniš in mu prineseš nekaj žlahtnega, nekaj srčnega, nekaj sočutnega, potem opravljaš tisto poslanstvo, ki ga vsi moramo izpolnjevati in ki ga vsi obenem tudi potrebujemo, da nismo notranje sami, da smo v medsebojni povezanosti svetli, radostni, da premagujemo tisto, kar ni prijetno, kar je tesnobno in si pomagamo k žlahtnemu in prijetnemu sožitju. To vam želim, predvsem to vam želim v tem božičnem času in kaj vam voščim iz te zasnežene Slovenije, vašo sončnost, vam želim, da bi to sonce, ki ga iščemo mi in ga doživljate, verjamem, vi v preobilju, ne bilo samo navzven, pač pa tudi v naši notranji resničnosti. Vsem en prav lep pozdrav iz tele prečudovite, zasnežene Slovenije.
Zdaj smo ugotovili, to je bila poslanica želje za Argentino, tako, ampak ne glede na to, verjamem, da želi tudi nam. Hvala lepa še enkrat, hvala lepa Katarina in majhno bitje in vsem skupaj.
Hvala, Domen.
Hvala lepa za vašo pozornost.
Vse dobro vsem.
Hvala lepa.
Hvala, srečno.
Srečno.